Hi, I'm Dawn. Thank you so much for coming back to my introduction to a journey. I first and foremost want to thank all of you who have been watching my videos, who have been coming back to them, who have been sharing them. It means the world to me that you're getting something out of these, that they're helping so many different people, and that's what they're for, and I couldn't be happy enough that you guys are getting to use these and share them. So thank you so much. Please, if there's anything that you'd like for me to talk about, message me on idigress123@gmail.com. Or leave me a message at the bottom of the video of something that you'd like to see me speak on. I am actually going to be talking about a subject that several people asked me to talk about tonight, so please feel free to do that if there's something on your heart that you'd like to speak or like to hear about. So tonight's video we're going to be talking about guilt, and this is something I think that so many people struggle with, whether it's from their childhood, maybe it's something with someone in a relationship or a friendship, and they don't know how to move forward. And that is so very important, you guys, because if you are constantly living in the past and you're always looking back, you will never be able to see what's in front of you. The here and now is all we have. We don't have the future yet, and we don't have the past. It is so very important that we only focus on what it is that we have control over, and that is the present. So when it comes to guilt, it is so important that you kind of take a look at it. Maybe it was something that you did, maybe it was something that you said that you regret. But you know, I first and foremost want to put this in perspective. Do you know anyone that has done anything in their life that they don't have regrets? Or something that they did that they feel badly about? We're all human, and every day we're going to get up and we're going to make mistakes. The hope is, though, is that we learn from those mistakes and that we're able to use those to help us to be better people, because that's what's important. So, one, I want you to look at, what you did and give yourself a break. You're human. Two, let's look at the positive of this. If you are feeling guilty about something, that means that you realize that you are not in line with the light that's within you. You're not in line with the best you. If you did something that made you feel guilty, then it wasn't who you really were, and that's why you're actually feeling guilty about it. It's because your higher self knew that you were better than that, and that's why you feel like that. So that's a beautiful thing, because if you didn't feel guilt, then that means that you're not in line with the highest part of us, because none of us are perfect. There's no way that we will get through our life without having done something that's not in line with who we truly are. So good for you that you feel guilty about something. So that's a positive side to it. Third, I want you guys to think about who it is maybe that you hurt. If it's a friend or a relative or somebody from a relationship. One, are you able to ask them for forgiveness? Are they still in your life? Are they someone that you still speak with? Maybe let them know that you're so sorry that you hurt them, and do it in sincere. If you're doing it just so you can feel better, then don't do it, because it's not really what is good. You're just doing it to get guilt off of you. That's not why you want to do it. If you truly want to be forgiven from someone, then do reach out to them and ask them for forgiveness. And if they're not around anymore, sometimes writing a letter to someone, write out exactly what it is that you feel, what you felt, what you think, and then take the letter, bring it outside, put it in some type of a fire pit or on a grill or something, and light it on fire and let the smoke go. And with the smoke, let that be your letting it go out of your life, forgiving yourself so that you can move forward, because we have to be able to let things go. So try doing that. I'm not an advocate of talking to other people about it, because by talking about things, we're just drawing things back into our lives. So let it go. It's not helping you anymore. It's in the past. You have to let it go and move forward. So there's one of the things that I want to talk about tonight too with letting go, is we only have this. We only have the present moment. Everything behind us is already over, and we don't have the future yet. We can visualize the future, we can plan for the future, but it's not here yet. So all we truly have is this very moment. But if we're constantly thinking about what we did wrong, what we could have done, what we could have said, then we're not giving the focus on the here and now that we need to be paying attention to. So I also have to ask you, and I know I've said these in past videos, but would you wear something from when you were 10 years old if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40? Would you wear clothes that you wore even 5, 6, 7 years ago, because many people would not, or they don't fit anymore? We change our clothes Our bodies change themselves. Every 11 months, your body is a completely different specimen. Actually, your taste buds are only 10 days old. Did you know that your gums are only 2 weeks old? Your skin changes over every few weeks. Your vessels in your body, the linings of them change. 72% of your body actually changes within a very short period of time, within about a month. Everything is already changed over. The only thing that takes longer are toxins and chemicals such as metals and things that are in your body that take longer to get out. And that's why we say 11 months for your body to change over. But actually, just within a few weeks to a month, your physical body is almost completely different. Yet our brain holds on to things for a long, long time. Our memories become that place where we jump off to feel certain things or to how to deal with certain situations that are going on today. Well, we have the power to change them. If you don't want guilt to kind of lead you into the future, then you have to be able to rid it out of your mind, which means you have to quit thinking about it. You have to quit pulling it to you constantly. Do you know that every time you have to remember something, that your brain literally has to completely reassemble that memory? So the more you think it, the stronger that memory gets, and the more it's there in your present moment all the time. So for instance, if I was to give you a bag of Legos and I ask you today to build the Eiffel Tower, and it would probably take you a few hours to build the Eiffel Tower. And then I show back up tomorrow and I say, here you go, here's your Legos again, build the Eiffel Tower. The second day, the third day, the fourth day, fifth day. Fifth day, you're probably getting a little bit better at it. 30 days into it, you can build that Eiffel Tower within a few moments and it's going to look gorgeous, it's going to look perfect, right? Because you've practiced it every day, you have worked on that, and you've gotten that into your head and you've worked it out so that you're able to do it the most efficient way possible. Your brain does exactly the same thing. So when you're constantly thinking about something, your brain has to go in and completely reassemble that memory. So now, every day when you go to that memory, instantaneous, that memory is there. And when you have a memory, the memory actually in the amygdala signals the hypothalamus to release a peptide to have the feeling come over you that you felt when you had that memory. Do you know that your cells actually become addicted to those peptides? So if you're constantly in a state of guilt, your cells can actually become addicted to feeling guilty. And if they're constant, and so if there's nothing in your life happening that makes you feel guilty, do you know that your brain, your body can actually cause the brain to have a memory, to create a photograph in your mind of something that happened where you felt guilty, which signals the hypothalamus to release the neuropeptide, and once again, the cells are getting that peptide that they're addicted to. So sometimes when you're going along, you're going throughout your day and you're feeling pretty good, and all of a sudden this feeling of guilt comes out, it's because your cells are literally now addicted to feeling guilty. And what do we know about our thoughts? If we're thinking about something constantly, we draw more things into our life that will continue whatever it is that we're thinking or feeling. So you're going to feel more things, bring things into your life that are actually making you feel guilty. So if you want to change it, you have to change your thoughts. And the thoughts start with forgiving yourself. You have to forgive yourself. Do something where, you sort through the problem and maybe express what it is to yourself that you did wrong. And then repeat from there what it is that you want to happen or who you are. So I'll give you kind of a little bit of an example, something that I use, and I think I did this in one of my last sessions, which was where there's a tapping, and there's different tapping points on your body. And if you go to EFT tapping online, you can see the points actually where you can do tapping, but where you tap it out and you actually talk about what's there. So you could say something like, I'm feeling really guilty. I was yelling at my sister and I wasn't very nice, and I said some really awful things, and I really don't like feeling this way. It makes me feel like a terrible person. And then replace it with the positive, which is, I know I'm not a terrible person. I know that I'm a good person. I know that sometimes I'm just very impulsive. Sometimes things slip out of my mouth that I don't mean or I didn't intend to say. And I wish right after I say them that I could take them back. But I know that I'm a good person. And I know that every day I'm getting better, and that I'm controlling my thoughts, and I'm controlling my mouth, and I'm saying things that are kind and loving. And I'm working on trying to make my life better every day. And I know that it's coming. So that's just an example. You can say anything that you want, but replace it with the positive. And again, you cannot go to the past. You cannot go back and fix whatever it is that you did. You can't. It's just a fact. So learn to figure out ways to ask people for forgiveness. But most of all, your life cannot depend on someone else forgiving you. They may or may not forgive you, and that's okay. You have to forgive you. You forgive you, you learn from your mistake, and you move forward. I have a poem that I love, it's one of my favorite poems, and it's called A Reason, a Season, and a Lifetime. There are people who come into our life for a reason. Maybe we said a prayer, maybe we asked for something, and a person shows up, and in a very short period of time, they fulfill the reason that they came. So they answer that prayer, they did something, or they said something that you needed in that very short period of time. And then there are people who come into our life for a season, and sometimes they stick around for days, months, even sometimes years, and they're there and they fulfill something in us. And then when their time in our life is over, they move on. For whatever reason, it could have been a fight, it could have been maybe they get married, or they start a new relationship or a new job, or sometimes they pass away. But their season in our life was fulfilled, and it was time for them to move on. And then there are people who come into our life for a lifetime. And lifetime people there's a very small amount of them that we will have in our life for a lifetime. And they come in to fulfill our lives and to remind us of who we are and the beauty that's within us. So when you think about feelings of guilt and maybe an argument that you had that maybe pushed somebody out of your life, maybe it was time for them to go, and the argument was what was needed to happen for you to be able to move forward because they were no longer necessary or needed in your life anymore. Maybe you had outgrown them, or they had outgrown you, and it was time for both of you to move on. I know that sounds weird because sometimes it's really hard to let go of people that we really love, or we think we love, or we're just so used to having them in our lives, but it's time for us to move on. So you never know why, but most importantly, at the end of the day, is you have to forgive yourself and you have to love yourself and be able to let go. So I hope this helped you. I hope that it got you thinking. I hope that you know that you are a beautiful and amazing person. And I am so blessed that you are watching these videos, that you're getting something out of them, because you are an irreplaceable miracle. You are an amazing person, and you deserve the very best that life has to offer. You are going to go out and you're going to do amazing things. The more in tune with the light within you that you come into, and you get tuned into that, you're going to do extraordinary things. There's a potential waiting for you. We're the only living creatures on the earth that we do not live up to our full potential because we choose not to. You have the ability to be amazing. You already are amazing. Just imagine how much more amazing you will get when you learn to forgive yourself and love yourself. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you remember that it's so important to forgive yourself, to move forward, to remember that no one's perfect and we all do things that we regret sometimes. But I also hope you remember that the fact that you do feel guilty is a good thing, because you know that there's growth that you need to do to move forward. So learn from the past, learn from the mistakes, look forward to the future, but live today, live in the present. Find the joy in every day, find the joy in the people around you, find the joy in the smiles, in the sunshine, in the laughter, because that's all we got. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have an extraordinary day, because you deserve the very best that life has to offer. Thank you again for tuning in. Have a blessed day, have a blessed night whenever you're watching this. And again, please like it, tune into it, email me, subscribe, and have an amazing day.